The history of Qatar begins in prehistoric times, when nomadic tribes inhabited the barren peninsula. Archaeological findings indicate that human presence in the region dates back more than 10,000 years before Christ. Situated along ancient trade routes between Mesopotamia and the Indian subcontinent, Qatar developed during the first millennium before Christ into a center of pearl fishing, whose economic and cultural significance would last for centuries. Various empires, including the Persian Empire and later the Seleucids, left their mark on the land, shaping its early commerce and traditions. With the arrival of Islam in the 7th century after Christ, the people of Qatar gradually embraced the new faith. Over the following centuries, the peninsula changed hands among regional powers until the 16th century, when the Ottoman Empire established its influence. In the 18th century after Christ, the Al Thani family, whose rule endures to this day, began to consolidate power across the peninsula. By the 19th century, Qatar had entered into a treaty relationship with Britain, becoming a British protectorate to safeguard itself from external threats and tribal rivalries. The discovery of oil in the 1940s transformed the nation profoundly. The revenues from oil and, later, natural gas exports brought rapid wealth and modernization, new schools, hospitals, roads, and a growing administrative framework. On the 13th of September, 1971, Qatar declared full independence from Britain and began its path as a sovereign state. During the late 1970s and 80s, Emir Khalifa bin Hamad Al Thani modernized the political and economic structures, strengthening education, health, and administration, while expanding oil and gas production. In 1995, his son Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani assumed power in a bloodless coup, initiating broad reforms, opening the country further to the world, and founding Al Jazeera, a media network that would become a voice of the Arab world. In the early 2000s, Qatar used its energy exports to invest globally, building infrastructure, sports facilities, educational institutions, and cultural landmarks, while becoming the world's largest exporter of liquefied natural gas. During the 2010s, the nation gained international attention through its successful bid to host the FIFA World Cup 2022, while continuing vast construction projects and taking on an increasingly active diplomatic role in regional affairs. Among the regional conflicts that shaped Qatar's modern history were the wars and crises of the Middle East. During the first Gulf War between Iraq and Iran in the 1980s, Qatar maintained an official stance of neutrality, yet within the Gulf Cooperation Council, it tended to support Iraq. In the Second Gulf War, following Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in 1990, Qatar provided military facilities to the United States-led coalition, marking the beginning of a long-term security partnership that remains central to its defense policy. During the Arab Spring, beginning in 2011, Qatar supported opposition movements in Libya, Egypt, and Syria, and used its media platform Al Jazeera to amplify calls for reform and political change. This proactive stance created tensions with neighboring Gulf states that sought to preserve the existing regimes. Relations with Iran remained complex. Qatar shares with its northern neighbor the world's largest natural gas field, the North Dome South Pars field, and despite political divergences, the two nations maintain pragmatic economic cooperation. A major regional crisis unfolded in 2017 when Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt severed diplomatic ties with Qatar, closing borders, airspace, and sea routes. Supported by Turkey and Iran, Qatar endured the blockade and maintained its independence until reconciliation was achieved with the Al-Ula Agreement in January 2021. Despite these tensions, Qatar evolved into a key mediator in the region. It hosted negotiations between the Taliban and the United States over the future of Afghanistan and played roles in dialogues concerning Sudan, Lebanon, and Palestine. Through this policy of discreet diplomacy, maintaining channels with Western governments as well as with Islamic movements, Qatar gained recognition as a small state with remarkable influence. Today, in the 2020s after Christ, Qatar stands for economic stability, political confidence, and cultural ambition. The country continues to invest in sustainable energy, education, and technology, while positioning itself as a bridge between competing powers in a turbulent region. Its history reveals how a small nation, through vision, communication, and strategic balance, rose to become one of the most influential actors in the modern Arab world.